Today, we're going to, on the Capital Stage podcast, we're going to talk about how local artist market is going virtual in Petrie Corners. Today's guest, we're going to have Kirsten Scott, volunteer coordinator at the Wesleyan Artist Market, Nadine Aram, principal designer of NAK Design and volunteer coordinator of the Wesleyan Artist Market, Gina Solomon, volunteer coordinator with the Wesleyan Artist Market, and Megan Brooker, artist and art educator, and the assistant director of fine arts at Wesleyan School and faculty advisor to the Wesleyan Artist Market. Welcome to the Capital Sage podcast. We're here to bring you advice and tips from seasoned pros and experts to help you improve your business and your community in general. I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisors, and my co-host is Rico Figliolini with Mighty Rockets Digital Marketing and the publisher of the Petrie Corner magazine. Rico, how are you doing today?
It's beautiful outside. I'm doing fine, thank you.
It sure is. Spring is here for sure. Why don't you introduce our sponsors before we get started?
Sure. We're fortunate to have Hargrave Fiber as a sponsor of these podcasts, both Capitalist Sage and the other podcasts that we do, Petrie Corners Life and such. They are a company here based in the Southeast, actually based in Georgia, that handles IT and internet connectivity for companies throughout the Southeast, small and large enterprise-sized businesses. Go check them out. They have products and information that you can use as a small business or enterprise-sized business that can make your internet connection faster, better, and provide the tools that you need to make your business work. So check them out at hargrave.com/business. And that's our sponsor. Thank you, Hargrave.
We're so glad to have Hargrave as our sponsor and a great business in the community helping us through all our technology needs for business and for residential in the Petrie Corner and greater Atlanta area. Today's guests are going to help us understand how the Wesleyan Artist Market has pivoted and made a shift over the past year to be able to bring us a virtual experience of the auction. The dates of the Wesleyan Artist Market this year is going to be April 22nd through the 29th. And please go online and check out their webpage, all their social media, and help spread the word about attending it in this new and exciting way. Our guests today, Kirsten Scott, Nadine Aram, Gina Solomon, and Megan Brooker is going to talk to us a little bit about their experience in pulling this together and how they help to feature the artists and improve the experience in some way for people that are going to attend. Mm-hmm. Why don't I let them introduce themselves a little bit, starting with Kirsten. Would you give an introduction?
Hey, I'm Kirsten Scott, and I am a resident here of Petrie Corners, and my two children attend Wesleyan. I am a retired real estate attorney and turned homemaker with a side gig doing flipping houses. And my real heart is for service, which is a family character trait that was passed along. And I've truly enjoyed being a part of the Wesleyan Arts Alliance and the Artist Market and many other service opportunities that are presented throughout the community. So,
Nadine?
Yes, I'm Nadine Aram, also a resident of Petrie Corners. We are very lucky to have our two older children attend Wesleyan, and in the past few years, very active with the Artist Market and the Arts Alliance. By trade, I'm an architect and designer. After a couple of years in corporate world, I've started my own design firm doing more residential work. So it's been wonderful being able to work within the community, sort of harking a little bit how the market functions too, a very open community event. So it's been a wonderful experience, and we look forward to being able to talk about it today.
Thank you. How about you, Gina?
Hey, I am Gina Solomon, and I am a former resident of Petrie Corners after many years, and currently live in Berkeley Lake. I have a commercial banking and corporate finance and treasury background. But like Kirsten and these other ladies are drawn to the service side and have been a full-time volunteer for a couple of organizations over the years, but have spent a lot of time at Perimeter School and then Wesleyan School, the Wesleyan Arts Alliance, and then several other organizations as a full-time volunteer. And this is my 9th year associated with the Wesleyan Artist Market. So it's been an exciting and obviously very interesting year.
Fabulous. And Megan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Megan Brooker. I teach high school art here at Wesleyan, and this is my 14th year here, which is crazy. And I'm the assistant director of fine arts, so the lead for visual arts, K-12 at this school. I've been involved with the artist market since my first year here, which is, it's been really awesome to see how much it has grown with leadership like these ladies that are here with us from the Arts Alliance, and to see how much they pour into the school and pour into the market is inspiring. So we're very thankful for the Arts Alliance and the Artist Market and all that it has to offer us.
Well, after the past year, I know folks are so excited to get back to normal and do things that we've done for many years. Gina, why don't I start with you and just talk a little bit about some of the things that you've been able to do to help transform the live experience of the artist market to a virtual.
Okay, well, planning for the Wesleyan Artist Market is really almost an all year around process. So when we finish the show at the end of April, we go into wrap up mode in May, and then we start pre-planning over the summer. So it was this past summer where we had to make the decision and work with the school on our plans for the 2020 show. And it became fairly apparent that there were so many uncertainties associated with COVID that we had a tough decision to make, which was either go ahead and plan for a live show at the risk that it might be canceled again, not have a show, or pivot to virtual. And because we feel like the artist market is such an important tradition, not only for our school and our immediate community, but our extended community, and also for the artists, we made the decision that we, in fact, would go virtual. It was uncharted territory for us, and there has not been a roadmap. So it was a big decision, but we felt like we had to put one step in front of the other and go ahead and start making plans. So we announced that we were going virtual in September, and we were very, very fortunate early on to secure the support of many of our longstanding partners, in-kind sponsors, such as the Peachtree Corners magazine, the City of Peachtree Corners, Atlanta Homes and Lifestyle magazine, Imagine Advertising and Publishing, Stirrup Media, these key partners, as well as Wesleyan School, to help us deliver the market going forward. So the first key thing for us the most important thing was to make sure the artists were on board. And then secondly, to build a platform, an e-commerce platform, or secure a contract with an e-commerce platform to set this up virtually.
If I could ask a question, for those that may be new to Peachtree Corners, can you quickly describe what the experience was like when it was live? And then we could talk a little bit of what it's going to be like when it's virtual.
Sure. The live event is an absolute highlight of our calendar year. It's the largest community building event at the school. The campus is open. Everybody is invited to attend. Admission is free. we set up the show, the live show in Powell, Powell and Yancey Gymnasium, which is a 2-floor expansive gym. And we have typically about 100 artists, professional and student artists combined on 2 floors over a 3-day period. The setup takes internally about a week for us to get it physically set up. The artists come in Wednesday before the show, and then they pack up and leave Saturday night after the show. So it's like having an enormous party for about 4 straight days. There's a ton of energy. Nothing can replace our live show. But ironically, over the years, we have contemplated perhaps having a virtual component to our live show. So while we did not choose this fate, that ultimately we ended up going fully virtual, this has given us the opportunity to pursue it and hopefully build something that future generations of marketers at Wesleyan can use in a live show. So each of when the participating artists do set up booths at our live show, so you'll see the individual booths set up with all of their artwork displayed, and the artists are actually present at the show, which is unique. Not all shows have the artists for the entire time, but we do feature all the artists.
Oh, fabulous. Well, if I could ask Kirsten, when building out the experience in a virtual world, can you talk about some of the things you had to consider and choices and platforms to be able to do that?
Mm-hmm. We did. We had to, at the live market, we had entertainment and speakers, and we had to figure out how to bring some of that warmth to a virtual platform. And we did a lot of research and we were guided with some other events that have happened that had a lot of content. And they really advised us that we needed to be specific about our content and not overdo it, so as to distract the shoppers from the art, which is really where we want everybody to be engrossed, is feeling like they get the opportunity to see the art that they typically would see in live and in person. And so we created some platforms, and our presenting sponsor, AH&L Magazine, provided us with a great opening night video where we're going to cover the art of collecting, and excuse me, and that is a great conversation between art collectors and designers and artists, where they can express a really great insight on how to go about collecting art yourself personally. And that's our opening night. We'll also, of course, always have opening remarks from Chris Cleveland, head of school. He's always very excited and supportive of our market. And I think he gets very excited about being able to kick it off and start it. So we will have that as well. A couple other platform things that we'll have will be a featured reel with highlighting our Wesleyan Fine Arts program. In the past, we've had different variants of the students be able to come in and the chorus be able to sing, or the play members be able to perform a small part of the upcoming play for the spring. And so this year will just be a highlight reel focusing on those students and all their accomplishments they've been able to do this year in this very unique environment. The teachers have been amazing from a parent perspective on really encouraging these kids to keep their artistic motivation going. And we want to highlight that as well. And then we'll have another little tidbit from one of our other sponsors called Choo Choo Charcuterie. and they are going to perform and host how to put a charcuterie board together, and some of the insight and the neat things that we're all seeing nowadays, and supporting their local business. And finally, we'll have a date night. Our great sponsor, Grace 1720, is helping us create a unique menu for our Monet and Merlot date night. And we're hoping that guests will go and pick up a little something to eat and a little glass of wine when they get home, and enjoy shopping online with their spouse or their children. We have the student artists as well. So we really want to encourage everybody to be thorough on the site and take their time. We have a whole week to shop. So it's really great. Yeah.
Sounds exciting. So
Does.
let me ask you this. When you, and I know part of the process you ladies were going through at the very beginning, trying to find the right platform and stuff, what were like some of the key ingredients or features that you liked about deciding where you are right now on the platform you're using? What are those key features that someone else might be able to look at and say, all right, that's cool, I want to be able to do the same thing, even if it's not an artist market, it could be something else. Right? So if you could share that with us.
Yep. Go ahead, Gina.
Okay. And y'all please jump in as well. There are some great e-commerce platforms out there. We ultimately did choose Shopify, and simply we did want a very established name that there would be great recognition, not only from the artist standpoint, but also from our buyers. And we liked the ability to customize the program a little bit. It's not as simple as simply setting up a store on your e-commerce platform. Effectively, we are the mall owner, and we have individual store set up within our mall. So it's an extra layer, and that has meant bringing in some different apps and working with a lot of different people from different parts of the world to put this together, different time zones. And so it's definitely, again, been an extremely interesting process. So we did like the breadth and depth and scale of Shopify and their ability to work with us to sort of customize some things.
What are the things that Shopify, for folks that don't know, it's an online e-commerce platform that a lot of people, it's one of the most known and well used. But what comes with that is trust. People know what that is, yes, and are comfortable and have used it, so they're, yes, familiar with it. But it changes the approach when you think about art and buying art. And Nadine, I'd love to explore with you a little bit about how does someone like me, who's used to going and looking at things, art to buy, how do I approach that virtually? How would you advise shoppers and people participating in the Wesleyan event approach shopping for art this way?
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, there's no doubt that 2020 I put a different spin on things in life for everybody. Virtually everyone knows everyone's gone online to some capacity. You even see big museums like Natural History Museum, right, doing these virtual tours. So conventions going to virtual booths. So we're sort of coming in on that front as well, and trying to make the biggest impact here is one of the biggest hallmark features of the Wesleyan Artist Market is the fact that it's always been a market for everybody, right? We've had all price points, all sizes of work, all types of techniques, all types of skills. So that's been, a big factor for us to make sure that we drive home. And I think when you approach trying to purchase artwork online, right, you have to sort of come to terms of, you have to approach it a little bit more clearly, right? Because like Gina said, nothing will replace an in-person experience. So instead of being able to touch and feel things, you have to sort of think through a little bit more logically. So typically, you know, we always tell people that when you come to the market, something will speak to you. You'll find something that pulls you in, and just having an original piece of artwork at your home is really a special thing. And in that vein, we always have a wide breadth of patrons, right? So we have people that come with their own designers trying to fill in spaces for their homes or their offices, all the way to people sort of coming in to do personal shopping for themselves, or little gifts for, you know, Mother's Day, which is typically about a month after the artist market. But there's about 4 main tips, I think, you know, is a good approach to when you try to purchase artwork online. And the first one is sort of defining your intent, right? So you come to the market with ideas in your mind. Is it for you? Is it a gift for someone? Are you looking for some small filler pieces or a large piece to fill a large space? You know, knowing what you're wanting to come to the market with is important. The other aspect is understanding the space, right? So again, is it a large piece, a small one, bright colors, dark colors? Does your space have high ceilings? Would it be more impactful for smaller pieces, or the idea of a triptych, right? So 2 to 3 pieces coming together, horizontal, vertical, floral, landscape, abstract, animals. You know, we have the whole breadth of that, which has been a wonderful key feature of the market. So we cover all types of genres, which is really a big benefit for people that come to our store, to our market virtually, not store. The next one I would say is researching our artist list. So visiting our website is a really big help. That way, you know, and can anticipate the artists that you feel like you have a connection with, whether it's a technique, whether you like watercolor, maybe you notice that you really do love oils. Maybe you do love a sort of whimsical piece that artists put together. So being able to taking a look at our website and scoping out our social media, because we're doing almost daily and weekly postings of all of our artists. And we have a wonderful feature that's called Behind the Scenes. And so you'll have artists sort of speak about how they create the work, images or videos of them creating the work. So that's another sort of draw to be able to replace that in-person experience so that the patron has a connection with the artist, which is also really important. And then the last one, I think, which is really important too, is ask questions, right? When you find that artist or you find that piece of artwork that you really do like, don't be shy to reach out to the artist, email. Sometimes they put a phone number, giving them a call, maybe asking them for advice, knowing your space and your height and your color scheme. You know, no one would know better than the artwork than the artists themselves. And then if there's something that you like from a specific artist, but it's not the right color or it's not the right size, our artists are typically always open for commissions, which is a wonderful piece too, because then you really have something extremely unique for you, you and your space. And you know, asking questions and being descriptive is wonderful. I mean, so it's a different approach, but it's definitely an approach where it's happening globally. You know, big name museums are doing it. The MoMA's doing it. Like I said, natural history museums are doing it. So
now we're doing it here.
Now we're doing it. Yeah.
Right. You know, the good part also, like you said, you can communicate directly with the artist as well. So if I was looking at a 3-dimensional piece, a sculpture or a plate, I could probably ask them, can you shoot me a video? You know, walk around and give me a 360 of what that looks like in real life and show me scale. Right.
Yeah,
that's the tough part, right?
Well, and not to interrupt, but one other thing too, the capability of the site, the artists will be submitting, many of them will submit multiple images per piece of artwork, and they'll show you what it would look like hanging on a wall, or, you know, for example, sitting on a coffee table. And then you'll have the ability to zoom in on the artwork, so you can see brush strokes, you can see texture. It's really buying art online has become a standard, and we're actually pretty excited about the potential here. So We are seeing good things from peer shows and heard a good thing. So our expectation is that it will be successful.
One of the benefits that I've seen on these virtual art shows is the ability to share with other people. That's harder when it was in person. If I walked in, I like it, but I have a cousin in another city or somewhere else that's not there. Virtually, during your social media posts, is it easy for people to share that with people in their network, friends and family? This might be a good fit for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on social media, it's an easy thing to do where you can repost or you can resend it to a message to someone, Facebook and Instagram for sure. But even the week of the market, right? Being able to just copy paste that link directly to an artist, I think is even more impactful, right? We always talked about how do we increase our foot traffic? For years, we kept trying to figure out, well, what are the logistics to figure out where people are coming from and how can we expand? And so now, one of the benefits, hopefully, is that we will supersede Georgia from patrons, ideally, similar to how our artists come from all over the country. So.
We did a podcast recently with the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival. They did everything virtual film festival. Whereas before they were stuck just in the metro area and within a few theaters. Now they were opened up almost to the world, although I gotta say that some of the films can only be geo-located and screened, right? So Georgia limited to, let's say, US. But they were able to expand the amount of people participating, not only the films, I think, showing, but also the participation of people showing up to watch those films. Yeah. So is that the same feeling you're getting when you went out for artists? Are you finding there are more, you're open to a wider range of artists because it's virtual versus them having to show up and set up?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is the best part of that, isn't it? I would think.
Well, it's been really exciting. We have artists coming from, New Orleans, we have Colorado, we have, places where normally they would not be traveling this far from. We do have obviously still a strong mix from the Southeast, but we can tell from the people that are following us on social media and the growth on those accounts, as well as the applicants for the show, that it was a broader net, basically.
And it'll probably be great to see the actual statistics during the show time to see where your visitors are coming from, right? And where the purchase is actually coming from. That would be phenomenal to see that part of it. As a business person looking at this.
Right.
I think one of the added benefits is because of going virtual is that, and one of the reasons that I think that we would like to keep this component part of the market is because of the reach. We have been able to attract and jury artists and have them be part of a show that they normally would not be able to do because of either distance or time constraints with a live show. And so the virtual really allows us to have a broader reach. And like you said, we're real excited about seeing the statistics come in. So yeah.
I will just add on to that, in the past, the way we've tried to help artists that can't be in our market in person is we've always tried to do a curated section. But now I feel with this, we all collectively feel with this sort of virtual market that now the whole market is even more curated, right? So you really did vet the process of getting and achieving high quality artists with wonderful work, great ethics, as best as a price point as we can. So that's the biggest benefit, right, to doing it is literally a one-stop shop for all type of artwork and jewelry. Don't forget jewelry.
I'd be curious on getting kind of an artist perspective, Megan, this new world and getting from an artist perspective, how do you see that changing how artists can get their work seen? And are there any tips and advice you'd have on people using this new platform to feature their art?
Yeah, It's actually really exciting to see how the potential of what is going to actually happen moving from live to virtual, because the beauty of the live show is the interaction you have with the client, right? And Nadine mentioned the intent. Like, I feel like from the artist perspective, when the intentions match and what you're looking for match, and that what the artist poured into it is what the client is looking for, is easy to communicate when you're live, right? When you are in person, and when somebody stands in front of your booth. This is my favorite part of the artist market, besides the big party, as Gina mentioned, is they stand in front of your artwork, and when they have an emotional reaction, it's a beautiful thing. So I will miss that live, but I'm hoping that, well, and my goal as an artist of the market is to be able to portray that and to explain that, and make sure my intention comes across virtually. So whether that be through captions or in marketing, right? And making sure that, because I feel like this is a huge piece of reaching your clientele that your work is created for. And so I think it's interesting too. It is a different, it's almost like employing a different level of marketing as an artist, because, as several of you mentioned, getting different angles of the artwork to make sure that everybody can understand what it looks like on the wall, but also details of what it looks like close up and what it might look like in different scenarios. Could you couple it with other artwork, or what does it look like on your shelf? So having the different variety to approach as much as the live scenarios you can get virtually is super important. Sharing your intention and making sure your purpose of your artwork is known. Because some may come in just wanting something that matches their decor, but then there's many others who want something that they do interact emotionally with. But I do find that no matter which way, what we're looking for as a client, people want to know our story, and so I'm thankful for the platform like Shopify and all the Arts Alliance is doing to help us to create that story on this webpage, so that it is shown through social media and through our individual pages.
I know in the past year, I don't know if you've all had the same feeling because of us having to isolate more. I'm seeing more expression of people's feelings and passions online. They're reacting to things. If it's an image, if it's a story, you're seeing that. And I think more people have become comfortable using that medium to communicate that. And so one of the things I'm excited about is, in this forum, most times you don't get to interact with the artists in many cases. But I could see the opportunity through what you've created in this virtual experience, the ability to have before interactions with the artists and the art and respond during the artist market experience, and potentially after.
Absolutely.
You mentioned commissioned work, or I follow your work now, and getting exposures for those artists. That's harder to do in just a purely in-person event. After you leave the event, you may not see or can't stay connected as easily. So I think that time has come for this merging of the two, and you're able to leapfrog into that. Probably we were all forced to, but I think your idea of keeping elements of that as we bring back the live experience next year, my fingers are crossed, next year will be live and virtual. Are there things that, I want to ask a practical question of, when someone comes and makes a purchase, there's actually the buying part, and then there is the, how do I get the art, whether it's three-dimensional art and so on. Can you speak a little bit about how would that happen during the event this year?
Sure. Kirsten, do you want to take that, or?
Sure, yes. So the plan right now, because it's all virtual, is that we would, each of the artists are setting up their own shipping portion of the market. And so with that, they will be responsible for making sure that the art is packaged correctly. And with everything going virtual or online for the past year, they have gotten a lot of experience on how to properly package art and have it shipped out correctly. There is the option that with just our professional artists that, again, communicating that if you're local and there's an opportunity to do a local drop off or a handoff, that is a relationship and a contact that the artist and the patron can foster and make happen, so that the shipping costs aren't added on for something that's local. We're hoping that maybe we'll get an opportunity to actually host the artist on campus, but that's Wesleyan's decision, and we honor that decision. And it's up in the air right now as far as hopefully doing a on-site handoff opportunity where patrons could come and meet some of the artists and actually pick up their pieces on campus. It would be great to be able to bring folks back on campus, but like I said, Wesleyan is in charge of that, and they have done an amazing job of keeping our students on campus, and that's their priority, and we honor that. So, yeah.
Would anybody, Gina, would you want to add anything on that?
I'm sorry, that is I thought I had silenced that, y'all. I'm sorry about that.
Right.
As far as the delivery is concerned, I mean, when we were advised by a lot of the consultants on this, that when we have 100 different points of where the items are going to be shipped from. And so whoever controls the inventory really needs to manage that process. And that's the artist. We don't have or control the inventory. So once the sale is completed, then the individual artists will reach out to their buyers, and they will obviously secure whether the item is going to get mailed or whether it's going to get picked up at the artist studio or whether there is going to be a meeting place. They will make sure that the artist is delivered one way or the other.
Cool. Fabulous. Well, I've got a question if I could throw out to each one of you to respond to. If there was one thing you wanted people that are planning on attending, or people that have attended in the past, or especially people that have never attended, if there was one thing you'd want them to know about the Wesleyan Artist Market that should drive them to want to attend or participate, or how they can get involved, what would that be? Nadine, you mind if I start with you?
Sure.
No problem. Take your time. I know it was a big question.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of thoughts going through my head, and I think right off the top, I'll just say, I think participating in any capacity as a patron with the Artist Market is a wonderful benefit to our students. And I don't just say our students in the time that they're here, K through 12, right? Because there are a lot of extremely talented children, well, not children really, they're young adults by the time they graduate, but that will go out into this world and will do some fabulous things. And I think they are able to do so because they're catapulted by our wonderful fine arts program, of which the Wesleyan Artist Market is the biggest, it is their biggest benefactor. So I think ultimately it does come full circle, right? Because we do have some alums that are coming back and participating as artists in this market. And so the bigger feedback loop is the fact that, yes, you are gaining a wonderful and unique piece of artwork. Helping students who have a huge love of fine arts sort of continue on and have all the facilities that they can have so that they can do the best performance that they can do, be it 2D or acting or music. And I think that's the biggest driver for us. And it's been every year, to be honest with you, has been, okay, how do we increase our bottom line? How do we increase our profit? Because at the end of the day, it's not, it's not going to our pockets. It's going to help our children and the other students. And I think that's for me, that's what drives me to keep going, and what I hope other people and patrons would consider.
Fabulous. Megan, what do you think would be something that folks should think about in supporting this in ways they can?
Yeah, I echo everything Nadine just said. It was the same sentiments I was thinking. And I would add to that, that you can buy art anywhere, pretty much any store. You can go to any local store and find something to hang on your wall to match your couch. But this offers the unique opportunity to give back and to create a story that goes full circle with the school, that is helping local artists, that is supporting local. But more than that, it's creating so much hope and life. And I guess I'll just say a story again that is so much more meaningful, that you could see every day, or use every day with jewelry, that's so much more impactful to your daily life.
Kirsten?
Gosh, ladies, y'all done an amazing job of covering it. It truly is. It is the story. I love that, Megan. Where I look around at the pieces that I've purchased over the years, and every time I see them, there's a story. There's something behind it. There's an experience, and I know that, like Nadine said and Megan said, that experience goes further than just myself and my joy that I get from the art itself, but it passes on to all these children that go through and experience the amazing program of fine arts at Wesleyan. We just want to continue to support that and grow that aspect, because it is critical for education and for expression. And we've seen, like you said earlier, a great deal of people expressing themselves in ways that we just never thought we would ever see. And we're all getting to share it. I love the part of the community about the fine arts. It is a community event, and we're expanding our community by being virtual. And I love that, because expanding your community, as you know, you can go years without seeing somebody, and then you'll come across somebody in 10 years and go, gosh, I remember when I met you at the Wesleyan Artist Market, or something to that effect. And so that's exciting. And the last component would be supporting our artists. With losing last year's market, we really had a very big heart to making sure that we could do anything we could to help support the local artist. And now our reach has gotten further, and we know the importance and the value of the artist. And so we wanted to continue to make sure that happened. So.
Gina, would you add anything to what everyone has said?
Main thing I would say is the artist market for me has always been so much more than an event. It's truly an experience. And I'm so impacted by not only the art, but by the artists themselves. And it's been a tough year for a lot of people on a lot of different fronts. And this is as much about inspiration and offering some hope and a little bit of escape, and also just I always find it so educational. So there are so many different benefits beyond just finding that particular piece. It's really just the whole experience, and all are invited. Again, it's our favorite part of this event is that we do get to open up the doors and hopefully share the great art, well beyond the Wesleyan campus. So we just love for, to continue to hopefully inspire through this event.
Well, I know Rico probably feels the same as I do, and I want to thank you each, Gina, Nadine, Kirsten, Megan, not only for being a guest today and talking about the Wesleyan Art Market, but for your time and volunteering and pulling this together. It's been a tough year, and figuring out a way to bring this to the community here in Peachtree Corners and beyond. I want to thank you personally for all you're doing, and for all the artists that are participating, and for all the people that people don't see behind the scenes. I know there's IT folks and technology folks and logistics folks that help make this happen. And I really want to see the community come out and support this and more than ever. If you can't get there those days, you could do it on your couch at home and explore some of the art during that. So thank you for your service and for all that you're doing for the community and for Wesleyan and for artists in general.
Our pleasure. And let me add, we did extend the show from 3 days to a full week. So that hopefully allows everybody a great window to take a look and join the site.
So can you remind me of the dates and how can people learn more?
The dates are April 22nd through 29th. If you're a sponsor, there is a preview starting April 20th through the 22nd, and it's not too late to sponsor. So go to our website at artistmarket@wesleyanschool.org. You can also check us out on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And those accounts are listed on our website.
Well, thank you very much for your time today and for sharing all the hard work you've done. And I'm excited to go. I got to visit it when it was live. I'm excited to go visit it now that it's virtual. And next year, I'll even look excited to doing a little bit of both. So thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you,
much.
ladies.
I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisors, and Rico and I have enjoyed getting to learn more of the many organizations, businesses, schools in the community, and putting on the capitalist stage to bring you just what people are doing to innovate and to help other people get ideas of how they can keep going and overcome challenges, whether it's in their business or in their organizations that they support. For me, our business advisors at Transworld Business Advisors, we help consult business owners. We help them figure out how to get into business when they're ready, how to get out of business and sell when they're ready, and how to grow their business in between. And I can be reached at www.tworld.com/Atlanta Peachtree. And Rico, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you have going on and how people can reach you if they'd like to?
Sure. So I published Peachtree Corners magazine, as a lot of people know. Started that out 2 years ago, and we're working on our next issue. So if you're interested in the artist market, one of the big features we have is we're highlighting 3 of the artists in that issue. That'll be coming out the beginning of April. We're also highlighting 4 student artists. In fact, we're doing another podcast later today. We're recording with 2 student artists that'll be on Peachtree Corners Life. So that's cool. It's getting to know a lot of what's going on and being able to put that word out for Wesleyan Artist Market. Magazine is going to be the biggest issue yet. I think we're going to be 80 pages this issue.
Wow.
We're going to be covering a lot of different things. If you're into Alta tennis, USTA, we're covering that. We're covering the new multi-use ordinances the city has passed that's going to deal with development over the next decade in this city and what that means with regard to multi-use when it comes to apartments, condos, retail, office space. Things are changing, right? COVID has done all that to us. So we're evolving. Traffic has changed. The way people are living has changed. So the city has to contend with that, and that's what they're doing. So hopefully we can explain some of that. There's a bunch of other things in there. I also own Mighty Rockets. I do digital marketing, content creation, and handle social media for several different companies. So if you're looking to get involved or you need to expand your presence online, whether it's product videos or content, just reach out to me. You could go to mightyrockets.com, or you could check my name on LinkedIn. There aren't too many Figliolinis out there, so you'll be able to find me if you put Atlanta into it. But this has been fun. I love talking about this. I've been involved with you ladies for, I don't know how many months now. It's going back six, 7 months maybe, or longer actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually before Nadine's baby.
So it's been almost 2 years.
Yes. So it's been good to see this whole process evolve and to see how it's developed from the beginning. So I'm just excited. Can't wait to participate.
Well, thank you again.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you. And also, I just want to recognize, Megan, thank you. And for all the teachers out there that have been
Yes.
helping take care of our children. So we really do honor you and thank you and bless you for all that you and other teachers are doing. So thank you for that.
Art therapy is a real thing. So
It is. It is. Well, thank you for joining the Capitalist Sage podcast today. I look forward for future episodes. We'll continue to bring you advice from leaders in the business and in the community and talk about how they can improve that and help improve the community in general. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you again.
Thank you.